Hello, guys. Today I want to talk about what are we seeing close to the beginning of the intern year for internal medicine or family medicine. And as you know, less IMGs ended up matching this year, and something is interesting. We expected that every year less IMGs will end up matching, but this year more IMGs, non-US IMGs that didn't expect to match ended up matching. And this could be because of the recent events in Nepal, India, Pakistan, with so many people taking off the match cycle, their applications taking off the match cycle. Maybe that opened the doors for so many applicants that didn't have stellar scores or applications to be able to match. And that could be because of the fear that program directors, programs had to contract people that had issues going on and that later on could have a need to separate. So maybe because of that, they decided to take on the safe ones, the ones with not so good scores, and just to fix them a visa. So that's what we see. I have reports of many people that I saw their scores, I saw their amount of clinical experience, their amount of research, and wasn't expecting them to match where they match. So maybe that's what happened this year. And if that's the case, and for what we're seeing happening with that scandal, with those scores that were taken off the cycle, this is something that is going to last at least 2 or 3 years, because the overall thing happening doesn't get fixed in 1 year. The people that had taken these tests don't get a green light just in 1 year or 2 years. The fear doesn't go away that fast. So I foreseen that for the next 2 or 3 years, there is going to be a little bit of fear. And so it's a good opportunity for you who have low scores or so-so scores, not much experience, not much research due to X or Y limitations, to not to lose hope, to apply. What I seen is that people that continues to apply, and they apply depending on their socioeconomical situation and amount of investigation that they did before applying. They keep applying without realizing their limitations. And I know you can dream, and I know it's easy to dream and wish for the best all the time, but a major limitant this year was the visa. And the second one was the step three. But visa is the biggest one. So if you don't have a visa, don't waste your money applying to academic centers. Don't waste your money applying to top tier programs, to top tier specialties. If you have a visa issue and your application is 50%, then focus on places where you can match or you have higher chances, like a community program, like a program that is new, that has 1 or 2 classes, and is very new. It's in an area that is very far, that no one wants to go. Just research the areas. You will see when you compare areas. If you're looking at cities like New York, like Los Angeles, Las Vegas, those cities, everyone wants to go there. So you're going to be fighting with a lot of people. But if you apply to areas that are far away in states that no one wants to go, your chances are higher, especially if those areas have the population that you have a skill for. Like for me, if I go to an area in California that is very close to the border, and they need a doctor that speaks Spanish, and that's me. And if I compete with 5 people that come from Germany, they will take me because I look like them, I speak like them, and I know them. So see, you have to, for the next 3 years, try to focus on things like that. Make it a good investment of your time. I would say that regardless of where you match, you can still apply after graduation. You can still apply to really good specialties in internal medicine, especially these years. People don't realize that surgical specialties are not what they used to be in the past. Nowadays, with the advancements in technology, with artificial intelligence, with all the research that's going on, what we need the most is hematology, oncology, gastroenterologists. And guess what? Once you finish internal medicine, you can do those specialties. Yes, it's a little harder if you do residency in a community residency program, but it is possible. Most importantly, even if you end up being a primary care doctor or a hospitalist, you can still make a lot of money. I remember when I started doing this YouTube channel, my salary was $250,000 7 years ago. With all the work I did, with all what I learned, 5 years into practicing independently, I went to 400,000 a year. And now this is 7 years, 8 years after I finished residency. I'm 500, 550. In a good year, I could make 600 just being a hospitalist, having side gigs. Of course, it's not that I get $600,000 a year completely. You know, in the United States we get tax, so a lot of that money goes into taxes, paying for a house, paying for a house, for cars, the family. It's good money, but my point is, I don't know if your motivation is the money part, the finances, or if your motivation is purely academic. But I don't know. For me, at this stage in my life, and for what I'm seeing, most people that go into medicine after 5, 10 years of hard work, they get tired and they want to go back into something that is less or non-clinical at all. So think about that. Now, the next thing I want to say is what made it possible for people that match this year to be able to match when they still presented themselves to a program with low scores, need for a visa, no research, 1 month of clinical experience or none. What made them stand out and be chosen when they still had to compete with other people that had a little more in their CVs? And I gonna tell you, the people I know that I told them, you have to say this, they came back to me saying, hey, my interview was dull until the moment I said what you told me to say, which is to mention CDI, the clinical documentation improvement skills that you have, that you already know because you have been practicing as a doctor in your country and you know how to identify diagnosis, but you have to spell it out, you have to say it. And when do you say it? When they ask you, tell me about you. Most people will say, oh, I come from Colombia and I play the guitar. I'm very good at playing the guitar. I'm very friendly. I work super hard and I love Los Angeles because my family lives here. All of them will say that, and all of them will be cheery and happy and look like good candidates. And it's good that you have that approach to let them know about your personality, to let them know that you're normal, but they also want to know what are you bringing to the table? What is that that makes you special, that makes you the person that they want to hire among these 7 other people that are interviewing with you? Because remember, this interview is your only chance to stand out, and that is CDI. And I keep saying this, guys, clinical documentation improvement is the branch that brings the money to the hospital. You can do you can see 10 patients in the hospital, but if your documentation is poor, those 10 patients don't bring a third of the money that a patient that has clear diagnosis brings to the hospital. But the way you word it has to be appropriate and has to be according to what is really CDI, not the money part, but the benefit of the patient. So I would say something like, well, about me, I'm from Colombia and I'm very hardworking. I love my family. They are very happy for me. I play the guitar. I love to know all the people I will work with. One of my interests in medicine is documentation improvement. For the last 3 years working in Colombia, I've been paying attention on how I clearly document the presentation of my patients, how I document sepsis, congestive heart failure, learning how to make a differentiation on a patient that has congestive heart failure and one that has pneumonia. Why? Because that matters. you can lose 2 days of hospitalization if you don't make a good differentiation. So for me, something I really want to learn during these 3 years in residency is to be able to identify diagnosis properly and document it to the best specificity. Now, you may think that that may hurt you, but it's because you don't know, you're not here. CDI, or Clinical Documentation Improvement, is a branch inside the hospital on its own. We buy books, we buy pamphlets to give to the residents so they can learn about it and they can make good documentation in their charts. We spend so much money, so many residents don't understand. So think about this. Me as a program director, well, not me because I'm not one, but as a program director, that I have to respond to the hospital for the people that I hire. I'm going to tell the hospital that I'm going to hire 5 guys from a different country that I don't know about them. I know their scores, but I don't know how good they are. In paper, they are good, but I don't know exactly. So we have that risk. And I have to teach them CDI. And I know that it's super hard. Even to experienced doctors, it's super hard to teach CDI. But if I tell them, if I see one guy that knows a little bit, that has the intention, that sounds like he knows, and I have that guy in front of me, I'm going to choose that guy because I'm going to think, first, I don't have to teach this person during residency. He already knows a little bit. It's going to be easier to teach. This person can teach his peers. This person, if I need someone to monitor the rest, he can do it. If I need someone to take care of a patient that is very complex, he can do it. At least he is a little more acculturated or used to what I need him to do. That is part of the healthcare acculturation part that we all talk about. It's not about the culture, getting to know the culture, but getting to know what we do at the hospital, which is the hardest part. Because we have to teach you, but hopefully people that are coming to my hospital know that already, so it's easier for me to teach. So think about it.